Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bosch. The number of clean diesel models in North America will double by 2014. Bosch Clean Diesel. Good, clean, fun. Bridgestone. Your journey, our passion. Dow Automotive Systems. Improving durability and increasing design flexibility with Betamate structural adhesives at dowbetamate.com. And by the 2013 Hyundai Sonata. Learn more at HyundaiSonata.com.
I'm back. Yes, it's I, Jim Hall from 2953 Analytics, here to host yet another episode of Autoline Daily, this time for the first day of November 2012. Hard to believe, but it's only 3 more weeks before Turkey Day, my absolute favorite self-basting holiday. Just thinking about that makes me hungry. But enough talking about Franklin's Cider Mill cider-brined Amish turkey with andouille sausage, cornbread. Never mind. Sorry, let's get started, shall we? Despite losing nearly $500 million in Europe in the third quarter of this year and over $17 billion in the region since 1999, Bloomberg reports that General Motors claims it will break even in Europe by the middle of the decade. Yes, this decade, 3 years from now. The company's cut 2,600 jobs this year through buyouts and early retirements, and by 2016 it'll have 23 new models on sale in Europe. But the company still has way too much capacity in the region. Does this mean GM expects big savings with its alliance with Peugeot? We shall see. Car sales in China for Japanese car makers are still tumbling because of protests over the Senkaku Islands with Japan. According to Reuters, Toyota's sales fell 44% in October compared to just a year ago. That's just over 45,000 units. For the year, the company's sales are down 1%. And Gasgoo reports that Infiniti will temporarily halt exports to China until next January because dealers don't need the inventory due to collapsing sales. Now, sales of the Cadillac Escalade really took off about a decade ago when the vehicle started showing up in rap videos. The more the hip-hop crowd got into it, the brighter the bling, the bigger the dubs, the larger the salad plate Cadillac emblems on the front and back, and the better the Slade sold. But Mark Royce, the head of GM's North American operations, says the next generation is going to be a lot less ostentatious. Mark says it's going to be very understated and even elegant. Dave Leone, the head of Cadillac engineering, claims they're using just about every trick in the book to boost fuel economy. The new Escalade is still a year away before it shows up in showrooms, but it looks like this is the beginning of the end for the big bling craze that started just over a decade ago. Mercedes-Benz really wants to hold its sales lead, about 5,200 units right now, over BMW. Weak demand in Europe and China has put more pressure on Mercedes to keep holding the luxury lead in the United States. Now they've announced a discount as much as $5,000 to, quote, VIP customers, close quote. Wonder who those are. Now, this is in addition to dealers being instructed to include cash offers and special lease deals on some 2012 models, as well as allowing customers to skip as many as 5 payments. They really want to beat BMW, you can tell. The Forester has been one of Subaru's best-selling models over the last 15 years. Today, Subaru gave us a look at the all-new 2014 Forester. Powering the car will be a choice of a 2.5-liter boxer engine or a new turbocharged direct injection 2-liter boxer that's capable of producing 250 horsepower. Either engine can be mated to a new 6-speed manual transmission or CVT. Oh yeah, I need to mention that the force-fed 2 liters based on the flat 4 introduced by Subi for the BRZ and Scion FRS, but I digress. The all-new Forester will also feature increased rear seat legroom and an enlarged cargo area. We'll get a better look at the Forester later this month when it debuts at the LA Auto Show. Speaking of product, the Dodge Dart will be E85 capable next year. Ward's Auto reports that the company is currently upgrading its 2-liter Tiger Shark 4-cylinder to run on the fuel. The only other vehicles in the class that can run on E85 right now are the Ford Focus and the Buick Verano. Coming up next, a look at pedestrian protection technology from German supplier Continental.
Clean diesel models in North America will double by 2014. Why? Higher take rates, lower cost of ownership, longer range and better fuel mileage, lower CO2 emissions. Clean diesel, good, economical, functional. Bosch, invented for life.
German supplier Continental has made it a goal to virtually eliminate traffic accidents and fatalities by developing technology to help cars avoid accidents. Pedestrian protection is part of that goal, and recently we were able to experience several of the company's systems that it's working on.
The system for pedestrian detection, they depend also of the class of the cars. Yeah, so we have from low-end to high-end systems. So I think what we did pretty well in the last years is to build up a scalability. It starts from a combination of camera and infrared, the so-called SRL cam, which is able to detect pedestrian by camera. Then it will be again checked by infrared, and as soon as we get a reliable information, we then can brake with full brake force, so up to 1G on pedestrian. Another system which is not only for pedestrian but has also much higher quality on pedestrian detection is the stereo camera. The stereo camera is like the human eye. Yeah? You get a stereo picture, you directly get speed and distance of the system, of the pedestrian, and then you can directly react. Even if you didn't do a classification, you can directly react on this object and brake. So this means you can brake very fast, less than 100 milliseconds, which also reduces impact of pedestrian which, for example, fall onto the street or run really on the street. So there this system is even better than the SRL CAM. What is not so much known, but is now, since we have the new generation also possible, is to do pedestrian detection with radar only. Because today the radar is not only giving you just an object, it really puts the object into a grid. It can detect also objects which don't move. Yeah, so, and this is a big difference to the past. So the radar is today also capable to detect pedestrian. It's also a high-end system, and the best system is really to do a combination between radar and stereo camera, which is the most expensive but also the best system. The stereo camera is available right now and goes to series production end of this year. The other system still a bit to go. Yeah, especially the object and the pedestrian detection we have to improve. There the series introduction is around 2014.
Before I bid you adieu, I need to remind everybody that there will be no Autoline After Hours tonight. But not to worry, the AAH crew will be back next week for an all-new show with Sandy Monroe. He will give us the inside scoop on the real cost of building electric cars. You will not want to miss this one. And with that, I'm afraid we've come to the end of the show. Again, I'm Jim Hall from 2953 Analytics. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time, whenever that may be.